These ghostly images are the work of some talented photographers, or perhaps something more ghoulish. England, circa 1920, Vintage Halloween Photo Science and Society Picture Library. Chicago, 1949, Vintage Halloween Photos Chicago Art Institute Pose Halloween Ball Robert Natkin / Getty Images. Can't you see yourself and your friends rocking this creepy DIY costume for Halloween? This image was taken at the Chicago Art Institute's Halloween Ball in 1949. Circa 1905, Vintage Halloween Photos Halloween 1900 Historic Photo Archive / Getty Images. This image from the Historic Photo Archive was likely taken in 1905. It showed a person, possibly a teacher, wearing a ghost costume in a rural schoolhouse posing behind a table of Halloween decorations including a carved pumpkin and cutouts of witches. London, circa 1865, Vintage Halloween Photos Pumpkin Visitor London Stereoscopic Company / Getty Images. This creepy image was taken in 1865. It's credited to the London Stereoscopic Company, suggesting that it was probably taken as part of a stage production. Can you imagine turning around in your kitchen to be confronted with the /pumpkin visitor /? France, circa 1863, Henri Robin, French conjurer with a ghost. Vintage Halloween Photo Sadoc Photos / Getty Images. Eugene Thibault took this uncanny photo of French conjurer Henri Robin in 1863. It was likely a publicity photo for one of Robin's shows. He managed a theatre in Paris, and his most well-known illusion was one where a drum on stage would be hit by an unseen ghost. Circa 1910, Vintage Halloween Photos 1910 Kern Vintage Stock / Getty Images. Maybe you felt just like this after a long day of work or studying. This image from Kern Vintage Stock at Corbus was taken in 1910. It shows a skeleton perched at a desk, appearing to study the biology textbook in front of it. Circa 1938, Volks Brush, America Farts or Halloween Party. Vintage Halloween Photo Solstein Build DTL / Getty Images. While it's likely these folks were just headed to a Halloween party in 1938, we can't deny we'd be pretty creeped out if this car pulled up next to us while we were trick-or-treating. Circa 1900, double exposure of a man on a chair. Ca 1900 Vintage Halloween Photos Kern Vintage Stock. Circa 1925, children dressed up for Halloween. Ca 1925 Vintage Halloween Photos Kern Vintage Stock / Getty Images. We are sure these kids are adorable underneath the masks, but they sure do look ghastly in these old-fashioned ghost costumes. This photo from Kern Vintage Stock at Corbus shows 3 children dressed up for trick-or-treating circa 1925.